Sue, if we can talk about differentiating between pain behaviors and naughty behaviors. Well, not naughty behaviors, let's say just training issues, which is what it is. Horses are seldom jerks, despite what we would like to think. Where do we find that line? Does it lie in the number of identifiers?
So I think that it is the number of behaviors. If the horse is showing it's rearing, it's spooking, it doesn't want to go forwards at times, it's swishing its tail and showing a variety of other factors, then it's got underlying pain. But if it only shows one behavior, such as rearing, then it's very likely that that has become an habitual evasion. Rearing is a very easy thing for a horse to learn how to do, and horses learn how to do things more quickly than they forget.
Yeah, we all do.
Yes, but I think particularly with horses, and they don't think rationally like we do either. And so I think, to answer your question, we have some horses which are genuinely difficult. So, for example, the horse may be difficult to mount, or it may buck when you first get on it, but then settles, or it may rear. So those are just single behaviors. So they are unlikely to be related to ongoing pain, although they may have been instigated by pain.
That's a great point, actually. So the horse can remember the pain, even if once the pain's gone, and then we have to untrain it.
No, I don't think it remembers the pain. It has learnt how to react and continues to react that way in an habitual way, whereas the pain-related behaviours, which are induced by pain and on continued pain, are immediately removed once we take away the pain by nerve blocks. One exception will be, or two exceptions, will be the abnormal behaviours that some horses show when they're tacked up and or mounted. And those, such as fidgeting, picking up a hind leg, picking up a front leg, turning around to bite at the girth, throwing the head up when the bridle's been put on, those sorts of things are not normal behaviours. And it does take some time after the pain has been resolved, so we're talking about weeks, until the abnormal behaviour during tacking up or mounting resolves. One other important, I think, point from a training perspective is that if a horse is, for example, learning a new movement, so for example, it's learning half pass to the left and to the right, and a horse which has undergone progressive training, which is pain and is pain-free, may misunderstand the rider's cues for the first week and may grasp it better in one direction than another. But it should improve progressively. Shouldn't be showing 8 or more of the 24 behaviours. It may swish its tail. It may be a little bit resistant. It may not show a completely regular rhythm because it's not quite sure what the cues mean. But with appropriate training and also reward of the horse, so you're positively reinforcing the horse when it does it well, then you should see progressive improvement over the next several weeks. And if you don't see progressive improvement, you have to say, well, why? Because if I've done the basics, any horse should be able to do a half pass. It's not like doing passage or piaffe, which requires incredible collection. Any well-trained horse should be able to move sideways, bent in the direction of the movement.
Well, I do like that you've used the phrase well-trained, because I do often think that it's easy to fast track perhaps, the progressive scale and then go, we've done this twice. I don't understand, why it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and I think we have to also recognise that some riders are better than others. So some riders are much more in rhythm with the horse. They are not giving conflicting cues. They're not got the accelerator on with the handbrake simultaneously. They have got good coordination between their hand cues and their leg cues, and their body movements are in synchrony with the horse. Whereas you have other riders who are less well in balance. The saddle may not fit them very well, so they find it more difficult to maintain their balance with the horse. Saddle may actually make them sit too much towards the caudal or the back of the saddle, so they're overloading the back of the saddle, which can contribute to discomfort. And the rider may also be sitting crookedly, either because they have a physical problem themselves, or because they're just not bodily aware of how their body is positioned. And those factors can all come into the equation that we have to consider whenever we put a rider on a horse. It's not just simply thinking about the horse, we have to think about the horse rider pack triad, as it were.